Hello folks, Wilf Ninja here, bringing you another nerdy video. Let me just load on my telly. Forgive me folks, I was playing a bit of For Honor. Now, I may end up doing some videos of me playing some For Honor. I might not. I haven't yet fully decided on if I'm going to do any big videos today, or what I will continue on next. I still have my Ark server constantly running in the background, but still, let's see. But anyway, today's video, the video that I'm launching today, hopefully when I get around to upload it. I've been falling behind on uploading my videos onto YouTube after I record them. But anyway, let's see here, folks. We are going to be talking about the bard archetypes and expansions to the role-playing from Xanatar's Guide. Now, we've already done this with the Warlock, Monk, Fighter, and Barbarian as of today's upload. So, that is why today we're also going to try and jump straight into doing the Bard. So, let's get to it, folks. Now, like many of the other archetypes from Xanatar's Guide, we get 3 new archetypes. Let me see here. Cleric. Druid, Paladins, Warlocks, for most part, most classes get 3 new archetype classes. Or as I like to call them, advanced classes, or special. Actually, yeah, let's call them specialties. No, actually, that's more for the wizard. So yeah, we'll call them archetypes. Now, interesting enough, Bard is part of that group that gets 3. But that will not be the case as we move on. As we move on, we'll see that Cleric only gets 2, Druid will only get 2, Paladins only get 2, and Warlocks, as you know, only get 2. Strangely enough, now this is a bit of a weird thing. Now again, it could be because their magic was greatly amplified from this book. But Wizard, the Wizard class only gets 1 archetype from Xanatar's Guide. So yeah, I find that a bit weird, but as I just said, there's this book also added a whole bunch of new spells which could really buff up your wizard. So therefore, it's a little bit more of a meh. It's okay. Okay. Anyway, let's move on. Let's get straight down into the nitty-gritty of it, folks. First, we'll start off with a bit of more information on bards, and then we'll get into some of the extra role-playing that the bard gets from this book. Now, luckily there's a quote describing bards. Let's see here. Music is the fruit of the divine tree that vibrates with the words of creation. But the question I ask you is, can a bard go to the root of this tree? Can one tap into the source of that power? Then what manner of music they would bring to this world? The quote is from Fletcher Denaria, the Master Bard. I think these are supposed to be like sort of characters. I might introduce them in my D&D worlds, like, you know, just scattered all over the place, you know. But anyway, here's some extra information on lore. Bards bring lividity during grave times. They impart wisdom to offset ignorance, and they make the ridiculous seem sublime. Bards are preservers of ancient history, their songs and tales perpetuating the memory of great events down through time. Knowledge so important that it is memorized and passed along as oral history, to survive even when no written record remains. It is also the bard's role to chronicle smaller and more contemporary events, the stories of today's heroes, including their feats of valor, as well as their less than impressive features. Sorry, less than impressive failures. Of course, the world has many people who can carry a tune or tell a good story, but there's much more to an adventuring bard than a glib tongue and a melodious voice. Yet, what truly sets bards apart from others and from one another are the style and substance of their performances. To grab hold of the attention of an audience, bards are typically flamboyant and outgoing when they perform. The most famous of them are essentially the D&D world's equivalent of pop stars. If you're playing a bard, consider using one of your favourite musicians as a role model for your character. You can add some unique aspects to your bard character by considering the suggestions below. Now, as like what most of the role-playing editions, this gives you three options. There's defining works, something that you're famous for. Well, now again, when I say famous, I don't mean worldly. It may be just in the local area or to a particular city. Then there's an instrument. Do you have a signature instrument or a very good one? This is a good one. And then embarrassments. Yeah, like some again, like it's interesting. And then there it goes on to your bard's muse. So technically this has 4, but it only gives you 3 tables. I think the bard's muse is more based on like more of a key role playing decision rather than a table of things to use. So yeah, defining work. Here we go. Every successful bard is renowned for at least one piece of performance art, typically a song or a poem that is popular with everyone who hears it. These performances are spoken about for years by those who view them, and some spectators have had their lives forever changed because of the experience. If your character is just starting out, your ultimate defining work is likely in the future, but in order to make any sort of living at your profession, chances are you've already have a piece or two in your repertoire that have proven to be audience pleasers. Now, so yeah, because this gives a reason to why your bard, bard characters have like an extra ability. They can pay, I believe, to stay at people's to stay in inns and whatnot. So this gives like more of a leeway of why would a bard? Yeah, sure, it's the tavern's getting semi more like entertainment without paying a huge price, but at the same time, why would he let you in? Whereas with the defining works, this is something that you perform that is clearly resonates with the audience, and therefore would give reason to why an innkeeper be like, oh, okay, fine, you can stay without paying. You know. Now that gives you 6 options, as per usual. The 3 flamboyants, a ribald song concern mistaken identities and unfettered desire. Now see, I like how it tells you what, it gives you like the title of the work, and then it tells you what it is. So that way you can decide on, you as the player can decide, okay, here's how it is. Like, again, like the song concern mistaken identities and unfettered desire. I know a few people who would have fun with that freedom. Like, they'd be given, okay, this is what the plot is of the story that the song tells. Here's how it's actually. Here's the lyrics. Here's some, quick, rundown of what exactly is going on. Hell, if I don't know any musicians who write lyrics and all that. That'd be on Sam's level, but I imagine Sam from Critical Role would have fun with these bits. Waltz of the Myconids, an upbeat tune that children in particular enjoy. So yeah, there you go. That's more of a. That one's not telling a story, but again, I like how it's giving me the description of it. It's an upbeat song. Asmodeus Gold. Oh wow. Asmodeus Golden Arse. A dramatic poem you claim was inspired by your personal visit to Avernus. So basically, your bard is like saying, like, "Hey, I've actually been to this place that has a connection to Asmodeus." Now, your character could be lying. It's up to your DM to discuss with your DM, like, were you actually there and whatnot. But I like to think that your bard is lying. The Pirates of Luskan. Your first-hand account of being kidnapped by sea reavers as a child. See, whereas where the one just before says you claim was inspired, this one is more in terms of your bard telling the truth, which I find interesting. The next one is a hoop, two pigeons, and a hellhound. A subtle parody of an incompetent noble. And then the last one is The Fool in the Abyss, a comedic poem about a jester's travel among demons. So I like how one of them is taking something from your character's backstory and playing into it as, you know, as your inspiration, whereas the others are either a lie, just a story you're telling, or whatever. Like, you know, I like the defining works section. Next up is your instrument. So yeah, this gives you some really, now playing as a bard, you automatically start off with at least one musical instrument, and they give you several to choose from, which again I really like. There's a masterly crafted halfling fiddle, a mitral horn made by elves, a zither made from drow spider silk, an orcish drum, a wooden bullywog crock box, what the fuck, a tinkerer's harp of gnomish design. I would probably go with the mitral horn because it's the closest to what I would like, but I would probably discuss with my DM. If I was playing a bard, I'd rather be playing a flute. So I'll probably discuss with my DM with create like a special, like, designed flute that my bard holds onto. And the thing is, you can actually put a story behind your special instrument. Now again, this is the instruments that you primarily use, I imagine, especially in combat and performances, and it's something that you're not likely to sell. So imagine you could work with your DM to create something very interesting in terms of a backstory. Now, every bard has suffered at least one bad experience in front of an audience. The chances are you are no exception. No one becomes famous right away, after all. Perhaps you had a few small difficulties in your early years of your career, and maybe it took you a while to restore your reputation after one antagonizing night with the fates conspired to bring you a theatrical ruin. So yeah, here's an example of situations where your bard, like something that your bard would probably be remembered about, or something that your bard is particularly embarrassed about and will not tell many people. The time when your comedic song Big Tom's Hijinks, which by the way you thought was brilliant, did not go over well with Big Tom. The managing performance with a circus owlbear got loose and terrorized the crowd. When your opening song was your enthusiastic but universally hated rendition of the Song of Frogmouth. The first and last public performance of Mert, Man About Town. The time on stage when your wig caught fire and you threw it down, which set fire to the stage. When you sat on your lute by mistake during the final stanza of Starlight Serenade. I find these all amusing. Now, here's the interesting thing. Now, when it goes on to muse, what does your where does your bard generally draw his inspiration from? There's three selections, or three suggestions, I should say. Nature, love, and conflict. I could go into them. Actually, yeah, let's go into them. Nature. You feel a kinship with the natural world and its beauty and the mystery inspire you. For you, a tree is deeply symbolic, its roots delving into the dark unknown to draw forth the power of the earth, while its branches reach toward the sun nourish their flowers and fruit. Nature is an ancient witness who has seen every kingdom rise and fall, even those whose names have long been forgotten and wait to be rediscovered. The gods of nature share their secrets with druids and sages, opening their hearts and minds to new ways of seeing. And as with those individuals, you find that your creativity blossoms when you wander in an open field of waving grass or walk in a silent reverence through a grove of ancient oaks. Love. You are on a quest to identify the essence of true love, though you do not disdain the superficial love of flesh and form. The deeper form of love that can inspire thousands or bring joy to one's every moment is what you are interested in. Love of this sort takes on many forms, and you can see its presence everywhere, from the sparkling of a beautiful gem to the song of a simple fisher thanking the sea for its bounty. You're on the trail of love, the most precious and mysterious of emotions, and your search fills your stories and your songs with vitality and passion. Conflict. Drama embodies conflict, and the best stories have conflict as a key element. From the morning after tale of a tavern brawl to the saga of an epic battle. From a lover's spat to a rift between powerful dynasties, conflict is what inspires tellers like you to create your best work. Conflict can bring out the best in some people, causing their heroic nature to shine forth and transform the world, but it can also cause others to gravitate towards darkness and fall under the sway of evil. You strive to experience or witness all forms of conflict, great or small, so as to study its eternal aspect of life and immortalize it in your words and music. So yeah, there are the muses. Now again, they're just suggestions. You could use tragedy as your muse. Maybe I don't know, there's lots of other muses you can take. For me, when it comes to writing my stories, just funny enough, my muses for my stories are my friends and just in general music. Like, I have a D&D video, so I have a D&D music playlist on Spotify that has reached over 100 hours of music, and it's just music drawn from all different movies, video games, and television shows. I use them for ambience, but sometimes I just listen to them, and an idea starts to grow in my head. Now, in terms of mostly what inspires me, though, is more so my friends, my players, because I always play. When I DM, I do open world games. So therefore, I let my players' actions inspire me to do certain things. For example, L saying that line, my friend's going to kill you, to the king, inspired me to, from that point, and for several weeks afterwards, to create a murder mystery with so many different situations going on. Now, I did have one issue with a player who felt like there wasn't much he could have done, but yeah, I again, that's the problem with an open world game, is if they don't explore, they may miss some stuff. You know, like I laid down hints of other avenues for them to investigate or go down, but again, all this started from that one player saying that one thing to the NPC, So yeah, like there's so many different people's have different musings from everything, like, you know. So have fun with thinking of what is your character's muse. Now there's three new colleges for the bard: the College of Glamour, Swords, and Whispers. We're going to do this in alphabetical order. So we're going to talk about the College of Glamour, then the College of Swords, and then the College of Whispers. Which I feel like Whispers, just by its name, is going to be my favourite. But let's see if I'm wrong, or let's see if I'm right, folks. Remember in my last Bard video, I did have a favourite, which I think... what was it called? There's a College of Lore and a College of Valor, I think. And I was leaning more towards lore, I believe. Was I? Yeah. I think I was leaning towards the lore. But let's find out if I keep that opinion. The College of Glamour is the home of bards who mastered their craft in a vibrant realm of the Feywild, or under the tutelage of someone who dwells there. Tutored by satyrs, Eladrin, and other Fey, these bards learn to use their magic to delight and captivate others. The bards of this college are regarded with a mixture of awe and fear. Their performances are the stuff of legend. These bards are so eloquent that a speech or song that one of them performs can cause captors to release the bard unharmed and lull the furious dragon into complacency. Okay. The same magic that allows them to quell beasts can also bend minds. Villainous bards of this college can leash off a community for weeks, misusing their magic to turn the hosts into thralls. Heroic bards of this college instead use their power to gladden the downtrodden and undermine the oppressors. So this is an interesting one. This college has very strong ties to the Feywild and the Fey in general. And I like how they do mention that there's evil bards as well. Alright, you get two features at level 3, one at level 6 and one at level 14. Here's the level 3 ones. When you join the College of Glamour at 3rd level, you gain the ability to weave a song of Fey magic that imbues your allies with vigour and speed. As a bonus action, you can spend one use of your bardic inspiration to grant yourself a wondrous appearance. When you do so, choose a number of creatures that you can see that can see you within 60 feet of you, up to the number of equal to your charisma modifier, minimum of 1. Each of them gains... Sorry, folks. Gets 5 temporary hit points. When the creature gains these temporary hit points, it can immediately use its reaction to move up to its speed without provoking opportunity attacks. The number of temporary hit points increases when you reach certain levels in this class, increasing to 8 at level 5, 11 at 10th level, and 14 at 15th level. So right off the bat, Glamour is so far acting as a support role. Well, let's see if it keeps this up. Starting at 3rd level, you can charge your performance with seductive Fey magic. If you perform for at least 1 minute, you can attempt to inspire wonder in your audience by singing, reciting a poem, or dancing. At the end of the performance, a number of humanoids within 60 feet of you who watched you and listened to all of it, and up to a number equal to your charisma modifier, minimum of 1. Each target must succeed a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC, or be charmed by you. While charmed in this way, the target idolizes you. It speaks glowingly of you to anyone who talks to it, and hinders anyone who opposes you, although it avoids violence unless it is already inclined to fight on your behalf. This effect ends on a target after 1 hour if it takes any damage, if you attack it, or if it witnesses you attacking or damaging any of its allies. If the target succeeds on its saving throw, the target has no hint that you tried to charm it. Once you use this feature, you can do so again until you finish a short or long rest. That is a handy ability, and it acts in a way of support because depending on where you are, like if you're in a tavern and you are planning to try and steal something like across the road or next door, like you basically perform for 1 minute, and then basically if you just get caught and the guards try and stop you, you just can use the tavern as an escape route, like run through it, and if you do so, the guards would then try and stop. Like the guards will try and chase after you, but they will have a hard time doing so because the audience that you charmed is going to be slowed down by your adoring audience. Okay. Mantle of Majesty. At 6th level, you gain the ability to cloak yourself in Fey magic that makes others want to serve you. As a bonus action, you can cast Command Spell without expending a spell slot, and you take on the appearance of an unearthly beauty for 1 minute or until your concentration ends, as if you're concentrating a spell. During this time, you can cast Command Spell as a bonus action on each of your turns without expending a spell slot. Any creature charmed by you automatically fails its saving throw against your Command Spell when you cast this feature. Once you use this feature, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest. How long does this last? Oh, for 1 minute. So that's interesting. I like how it ties into your enthralling presence. So far, I'm seeing a really cool ability of, again, escape route setup. You perform, you're doing all your performing, blah, 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 blah. You create your charmed people. You get caught. The guards are chasing after you. The party is rushing through this tavern. You then, just before, after you get, sorry, I'm about to hit my mic there with my book. Just as you run through, you take on the appearance of this form, and you use a command to tell some of your audience members that are enthralled by you to hinder the guards. And then there you go, like straight off the bat, they are straight away trying to hinder them. They automatically fail. This is useful if you're in an adventuring tavern with lots of adventurers, or even if you're in a very rough type of tavern. It's because, again, if the charmed person is inclined to combat, yes, they will. And the funny thing is, if you combine that with a command spell, the command spell would ignore that thing. So straight away, if you could use the command spell on that charmed, say, barbarian to attack the guards, even if it will break the charmed of the enthralling performance, he automatically failed the command spell. So there you go. He will attack them, which again I find extremely interesting. Okay, last one. Unbreakable Majesty. At 14th level, your appearance permanently gains the otherworldly aspect that makes you look more lovely and fierce. In addition, as a bonus action, you can assume a magically majestic presence for 1 minute or until you are incapacitated. For the duration, whenever any creature tries to attack you for the first time on a turn, that the attacker must make a charisma saving throw against your spell save DC. On a fail save, it can't attack you on this turn and must choose a new target for its attack, or the attack is wasted. On a successful save, it can attack you on this turn, but it has disadvantage on any saving throws made against your spells on your next turn. Once you assume this majestic presence, you can't do so again until you finish a short or long rest. So there you go. Once again, this archetype seems like it could be really fun, and I believe it can be. But anyway, let's move on to the College of Shadows. Sorry, the College of Swords. Okay. Just double check. Yes, it is. Bards of the College of Swords are called blades, and they entertain through daring feats of weapon prowess. Blades perform stunts such as sword swallowing, knife throwing, and juggling, and mock combats. Though they use their weapons to entertain, they are also highly trained and skilled warriors in their own right. Their talent with weapons inspires many blades to lead double lives. One blade might use a circus trope as cover for nefarious deeds such as assassination, robbery, and blackmail. Other blades strike at the wicked, bringing justice to bear against the cruel and powerful. Most tropes are happy to accept a blade's talent for excitement it adds to the performance, but few entertainers fully trust a blade in their ranks. Blades who abandon their lives as entertainers have often run into trouble that makes maintaining their secret activities impossible. A blade caught stealing or engaging in vigilante justice is too great of a liability for most tropes. With their weapon skills and magic, these blades either take up the work as enforcers for thieves' guilds or strike out on their own as adventurers. Straight off the bat, I can think of I like the idea of playing as a college of swords. It can be really fun. But let's see what else you get. You get You get 2 features as a blade at level 3 plus a bonus proficiency. When you join the College of Swords at 3rd level, you gain proficiency in medium armor and a scimitar. If you're proficient with a simple or martial melee weapon, you can use it as a spellcasting focus for your bard spells. So straight off the bat, basically call it a blade, instead of using like music or words to... Basically, instead of using poems, stories, or music to harness the bardic powers, you now instead use your swordsmanship. Sort of like Molly Mox in Critical Role Campaign 2, who's played by Taliesin. He's basically a bard, College of Swords, except he's not. He's a blood hunter, Order of Ghostslayer. And basically what he does, except he also does it with cards. But essentially his thing is he swings around his swords and looks fancy with them. Fighting style. Level 3 you also get to choose a fighting style. Dueling or 2-weapon fighting. I like how they took out defense, great weapons, and archery. Again, focusing on one-handed swords or fighting stylishly with two swords in each hand. You also get the blade flourish at level 3. At 3rd level, you learn to perform impressive displays of martial prowess and speed. Whenever you take an attack action on your turn, your walking speed increases by 10 feet until the end of your turn, and if the weapon attack that you make as part of your action hits a creature, you can use one of the following blade flourish options of your choice. You can use only one blade flourish option per turn. Defensive flourish. You expend one use of your bardic inspiration to cause the weapon to deal extra damage to hit to the target you hit. The damage equals the number you roll on the bardic inspiration die. You also add the number rolled to your AC until the start of your next turn. Slashing flourish. You expend one use of your bardic inspiration to cause the weapon to deal extra damage to your target you hit and to any other creature of your choice that you can see within 5 feet of you. The damage equals to the number you roll on your damage die. Okay, so yeah, all the flourishes seem to deal extra damage. Minimum extra damage with an added effect. Slashing allows you to hit another person with the extra damage. Defensive allows you to increase your AC after you hit someone. Mobile, I imagine, allows you. Let's see what it does. You can also push the target to 5 feet away from you, plus a number of feet equal to your number you roll on that die. You can immediately use your reaction to move up to your walking speed to an unoccupied space within 5 feet of the target. So basically it allows you to control the environment of the battle. So you hit your target, you deal extra damage, and then you push them back 5 feet, and then you can use your reaction to move that number of feet towards your target in any way. So basically you can then circle them. So basically you can maneuver your opponent. With this, you can maneuver your opponent towards, say, environmental hazards such as cliffs and the like. Very effective. At level 6, you can now attack twice instead of once whenever you take the attack action on your turn. And at 14th level, you get Master Flourish. When you use Blade Flourish option, you can roll a d6 and use it instead of expending. What the hell? Okay. Wow. When you reach level 14 with College of Swords, basically, instead of expending a bardic inspiration die, you can now just roll a d6, which means you don't have to worry about the use of your inspiration dies anymore. So which means you get unlimited amount of your blade flourishes. Pretty cool. Now again, d6 is a lot less than what your inspiration die will eventually become, because that will become a d12 eventually. But hey, d6. You're not going to what's it called, do amazing feats, especially with the mobile flourish. Like, you're not going to be able to completely move your opponent all over the place with it and then chase after him, because again, you can only move then a maximum 6 inches towards your target after you push them, and he can only be pushed back to a maximum of 11 feet. So again, it's a little bit of a mixed situation, but again, but that's only when it comes to the push. If you use that d6 on defensive or slashing, that's still pretty handy, folks. You know? Still very cool. Now we're on to... So I'm leaning now towards College of Swords so far. So I went off from College of Lore to now College of Swords. Let's see if College of Swords would be my bardic class, or will I be College of Shadow? Okay, College of Whispers, sorry, that's what it's called. Most folks are happy to welcome a bard into their midst. Bards of the College of Whispers use this to their advantage. They appear to be like other bards, sharing news, singing songs, and telling tales to the audience together in truth. In truth, the College of Whispers teaches its students that they are wolves among sheep. These bards use their knowledge and magic to uncover secrets and turn them against others through exhortation and threats. Many other bards hate the College of Whispers, viewing it as a parasite that uses a bard's reputation to acquire wealth and power. For this reason, members of this college rarely reveal their true nature. They typically claim to follow some of the other colleges, or they keep their actual calling secret in order to infiltrate and exploit royal courts and other settings of power. Okay, you get 4 features, 2 at level 3, 1 at level 6, and 1 at level 14. When you join this college at 3rd level, you gain the ability to make your weapon attacks magically toxic to the creature's minds. When you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you expend 1 use of your bardic inspiration to deal an extra 2d6 psychic damage to the target. You can do so only once per round on your turn. The psychic damage increases when you reach certain levels in this class: 3d6 at 5, 5d6 at 10, and 8d6 at 15th level. At 3rd level, you learn to infuse innocent seeming words with insidious magic that can inspire terror. If you speak to a humanoid alone for at least 1 minute, you can attempt to seed paranoia into its mind. At the end of the conversation, the target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC, or be frightened of you or another creature of your choice. The target is frightened in this way for 1 hour until it is attacked or damaged, or until it witnesses its allies being attacked or damaged. If the target succeeds on the saving throw, the target has no hints that you try to frighten it. Once you use this feature, you can't do so again until you finish a short or long rest. Okay, so far, folks, I'm leaning still towards swords. I'm okay with the College of Whispers at the moment, but let's see how it goes on. At 6th level, you gain the ability to adopt a humanoid's persona. When a humanoid dies within 30 feet of you, you can magically capture its shadow using your reaction. You retain this shadow until you use it or you finish a long rest. You can use the shadow as an action. When you do so, it vanishes, magically transforming into a disguise that appears on you. You look like the dead person, but healthy and alive. This disguise lasts for 1 hour until you end it as a bonus action. While you're in disguise, you gain access to all the information that the humanoid would freely share with a casual acquaintance. Such information includes general details on its background and personal life, but doesn't include secrets. The information is enough that you can pass yourself off as the person by drawing on its memories. Another creature can see through this disguise by succeeding a wisdom insight check contested by your charisma deception check. You gain a +5 bonus to your check. Once you capture a shadow with this feature, you can't capture another one until you finish a short or long rest. Okay, that was going to be really... I feel like that would have been really cool, except the fact that the shadow that you just captured goes away if you do a long rest. So far, the College of Whispers is a bit underwhelming. At 14th level, you gain the ability to weave dark magic into your words and tap into the creature's deepest fears. As an action, you magically whisper a phrase that only one creature of your choice within 30 feet of you can hear. The target must make a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC. It automatically succeeds if it doesn't share a language with you or if it can't hear you. On a successful saving throw, the whisper sounds like unintelligible mumbling and has no effect. On a failed save, the target is charmed by you for the next 8 hours or until you or your allies attack it, or damage it, or force it to make a saving throw. It interprets the whispers as a description of its most mortifying secret. You gain no knowledge of this secret, but the target is convinced you know it. The charmed creature obeys your commands for fear that you will reveal its secret. It won't risk its life for you or fight for you, unless it is already inclined to do so. It grants you favours and gifts it would offer to a close friend. When the effect ends, the creature has no understanding of why it held you in such fear. Once you use this feature, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest. And there you go, folks. After reading all of those, I feel like I'll probably go with College of the Swords if I was to play a pure bard. But if I was multi-classing into a bard, say from Rogue, I would probably go College of the Whispers, because my traditional Rogue archetypes that I play is the Assassin archetype, and I feel like a level 6 Rogue Assassin could really mesh well with a Bard level 14 College of Whispers. Because with level 6, I believe that the Assassin Rogue can then forge documents as well. So he could plan everything in advance. He could forge the documents. Say if he had to assassinate someone like a noble inside his home, even though he has guards, he could forge all the documents that will prove that he is who he says he is. Say if he's going to a party to assassinate his target, he could forge the documents that will claim him to be a noble. He can then kill another noble, capture their shadow, put it on, and then walk in with the knowledge of that person. Find his target, kill his target, while disguised as this person, and then flee. And then once he gets a good distance away, he can then, as a bonus action, drop his disguise, and no one will be the wiser. Or he could kill his target, take the shadow, change into that new shadow. Oh no, he can't. Short or long rest. So yeah, basically he will always frame his target. He'll always frame his disguise for his killings. So, yeah, I could see College of Whispers would be fun if I was playing from a multiclass of Rogue, but if or if I was multiclassing into Rogue, if I planned it, which I generally again, I depending on how the story is going, I would try and avoid that. You know what I mean? But if I was playing a pure bard, no planning on multiclassing or whatever, I would have to go with College of Swords. It seems fun, and I don't know. And I like the idea that you're entertaining with just your weapon skills. I like that. Well, there you have it, folks. That is the bards from Xanathar's Guide. Next up is, I believe, clerics, and then we'll be moving on to druids. And with that, I think we'll be caught up to date, so which means we can move on to the next class that I have yet to talk about, which is paladins. But anyway, with that said, this is Wilfred Ninja signing out. Oh, sorry. I should really start saying this, folks, especially for those that are new to my channel and who are and this is their introduction video. So I'll be saying it in future from now on. So, folks, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, leave a comment. I will make sure I reply to you. So I'm trying to make it a policy that if someone comments on one of my videos, I will leave a comment. Or I will reply, as long as it's nothing too exhausting. Like when it came to, I have a video that got lots of comments, and I didn't comment on every single one because the video was just more to raise awareness of this bot that goes around and leaves comments like and all that. So yeah, I generally was like, okay, people are saying, like, and all these people were saying that they met the same issue. But yeah, when it comes to other situations with D&D, like my D&D videos, if someone says something about D&D, comments something about D&D, or comments about what type of video they want to see, then yeah, I will make sure I reply, or at least I will give a like or whatever. Other than that, also, don't just leave a like and comment. If you want to see more of my videos, hit the subscribe button, and if you want to be notified for my channel when I upload, make sure you click the bell icon underneath the video after you subscribe, so that way you will be notified when I upload a video. With that being said, this is Wilfred Ninja, sign out. May the force be with you, and remember, roll for initiative.